Good morning. Good morning, people. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, today is Saturday. It's early Saturday morning, and you're looking at my window. Yes, it's about like 3:30 in the morning, December 20th, 2025. As I lie here this morning, yeah, I went to bed very early yesterday evening. Keep waking up, falling back to sleep, looking at videos. Yes, yeah, today is Saturday. And this would be the last, this is a week ago on Saturday, would be the last day I saw my little fur baby, Lavender, alive. Yes, and he passed away midnight the following day on Sunday morning, midnight around. And yesterday, Friday, the 19th of December, I I went outside for the first time. I went for my walk. First time after Lavi's passing, processing everything, and I did a live stream to document my first day journey, being alone, processing everything. That is the first day of something bigger, bigger than myself. That's how I want to see it. That yes, it was the first day of a life that I need to create for myself, a life, what it's like to be independent of, not having someone else to take care of, not having responsibilities outside of my immediate self. And it was a weird feeling. For almost 16 years, been doing things, considering everything I did, because I had other responsibilities. So I had to make sure I get home early to fix breakfast, lunch, dinner for my little fur babies. And I knew in my spirit, that things were going to be happening quickly. And when I was at the veterinarian, I was taking a lot of little videos, trying to capture moments. I knew in my spirit that I didn't think my little baby was going to be coming home, and things just seemed to be escalating, even though the staff and everything, I read in their eyes, one of the doctor's eyes, they didn't want to alarm me. And I told them, I said, I don't think he's going to make it the end of the year. I just wanted to enjoy the moment. I said, just capture the moment. Just capture the moment. Just remember everything. Love him, love him. Let your doggy know that you love him. And yes, he did pass. And I went home that Saturday. I thought actually he was going to pass away on Saturday. And I was going to carry him home. I was going to spend the whole day Saturday, and that he would be brought home by me that day. But my little boy, he persevered, and how everything ended that day was extremely beautiful. Went home and was just going to bring it the next day, Sunday, and that's when I got the message. It's really weird. But either way, this video is not so much about that. This video is really about the signs of the times. So I relayed the message what happened to my dog because that's the most recent thing that happened personally in my life, a loss. And so I've been watching a lot of spirituality stuff, a lot of videos on OBEs, out of body experiences, and near death stuff. But on top of that, I was seeing the news as I was scrolling through my phone, different things, headlines. And about maybe an hour ago or less, I saw a headline about a mayor, and it took place in the Philippines. And so this is what this video is going to be dealing with. These events that are happening around the world in your personal life are these signs of the times. I feel like in my description, I was saying reset. And I remember hearing someone else talk about a reset. I'm thinking also, seeing all these things. When you look through your phone, your smartphone, you're looking on the internet, you're looking on YouTube, the headlines and everything, the thumbnails. And things are, at least I'm being referred to videos that seem a little intense. It was like this for a while. And it just seems to be reaching a peak. You wonder, you ask yourself, how could things even get worse? It already is worst. You know what I'm getting at? Is a reset about to occur? That's what I ask myself. So it was something about the Philippines, and that they were saying that a mayor, the first time a mayor is being arrested. And she seemed quite positive. She was in a room and they changed, had her put on this, I think it was a bright yellow color top or something. And she was saying, I think she was saying, happy, happy, what is going on? I guess evidently, it was very short videos, like a 1 minute plus video. And things are happening. Arrests are being made. Things are, who would think the paradigm, what mayor, what governor is being arrested? But it's happening. People are getting fed up. People are being exposed, even at the very top. The next video I saw regarding monks. The story took place in Thailand, and I used to watch a lot of videos on Thailand because it was a place I was considering moving to. Yep, over 2 years ago. I think it started 3 years ago. And I considered going to Thailand. Well, this video featured monks and their growing scandals regarding monks. Now monks is a symbol of a type of, in my eyes, purity, godliness, honesty. That's what goes through my mind. But it too is an institution that is falling down. It's falling down, people. Like other institutions. Like other institutions. It's not just one institution. all over the world, all different types of institutions. And in this documentary on the monks in Thailand, Buddhist monks, um, some of the temples were being raided because some of the monks were get this, addicted to in short, they call it meth, that real strong, highly addictive drug. Yes, they were dealing with some of the monks, some of the temples. They had gold, drugs, bottles of urine. I don't know about that. Money. Like it was a ring happening in the temples. And they said that these temples collectively earn in the billions, with the B as in boy, billions of dollars. The monks, the young monks are, some of them are laundering, they're just walking around aimless, getting into mischief. And you have like the police monks that they go out, the monks that go out and they look around to see any monks that are not where they're supposed to be. I think this is sad that these monks are getting into mischief. To my understanding, that the monkhoods, the Buddhist monks, it's a voluntary thing. They're too like Catholic priests that they're supposed to sustain from various activities, and there's to rely on the donations of others, and they have strict conducts of behaviors. They get up early in the morning and they do their prayers and then they go out. How could something that seems so beautiful on the outside result when they go outside for them to want to resort to taking addictive drugs? I never done harsh drugs. And I'm just thinking, I guess what my mindset is that because it's a symbol of purity and goodness, the Buddhist monks, and they're praying in the temples, they look beautiful, beautiful. People from all over the world visit these temples to see what is a symbol of beauty and purity. They have the incense, the candles. It's beautiful. And even they, surrounded by all this beautiful, are being pulled down to temptations, all sorts of temptations. What is going on? And the last story regarding the monks featured a woman. She's a mom, and her young teenage son, about the age of 14, told the family that he wanted to become a monk, and he became an ordained monk. And shortly after, she learns, she had the photos, her young boy got caned. They took, what do you call those things? Bamboo sticks, and beat him, beat the boy all over his body. What was the offense? The boy was looking at his phone. He was on his phone, and that's a no-no. I could see you could confiscate a phone, but to beat somebody, wow. And the mother finds out, and she's showing the reporter the photos of her son with marks all over his body. And she did file a complaint. Uh, yeah, they were protecting the monk that did it. I mean, I understand discipline, especially being from having served in the military, but abuse, that's something else. That is wrong. What's happening today? What is happening today for these institutions to break down? Um, I remember, it comes to my memory. I'm from New York City. I've been here in Rwanda for just over 2 years now, just over 2 years. And I remember in New York City, I lived in Midtown Manhattan, and there would be monks on 42nd Street. And they would have, they wear the orange robes, and they would walk around, and they might give trinkets, like these little elastic bracelets, and other little knickknacks. And they walk up to you and just want to hand you stuff. And a lot, and the 42nd Street area is a tourist attraction. And so a lot of the tourists are just, they're new there. Everybody's excited, walking, and someone walks up to you and want to, some that they will grab your arm and put the bracelet on you, and you don't realize that they're begging for money. The monks in New York City, they are looking angry. They get forceful, these monks, even in New York City. And I mean, I've seen things like the tourists are walking, and then they monk grab the arm and put and they think it's just a gift. They go, the monk puts his hand out, waiting for money or something. Yep, yeah. So it seems like these monks are being used. I think maybe in some locations the monks feel that they're being exploited, that they're like slaves. They go out, they're thinking, okay, this is spirituality, humility. You wear the costume, the beautiful costume, represents purity, godliness. And then they're telling you, okay, you got to raise money. Yeah, these, they have to pay rent, I guess. These places of worship, or wherever where they live, if they live in this, those buildings, someone got to pay the rent. Someone got to get the food, right? New York City is not a Buddhist place, but I would imagine in Thailand, there are a lot of Buddhists there, and people pretty much, many of the people there in that part of the world are of that faith. So it's a system that feeds itself, so to speak. You have the general public who are Buddhists, and they support their local monks, right? Excuse me, a plane is coming. Sorry about that. A lot of planes and everything. So again, you have even these monks, and maybe what's going on, that they might come in faith. They want meaning of their life. It's okay, it's spirituality. But the spirituality is becoming a chore. It's becoming a work. Who knows what's happening when they go home? And they say, oh, well, what did you bring in? How much money did you make, right? Isn't that what's being said, people? I can only speculate. What's going on? Could they being harassed or have quotas? It kind of reminds me of the Moonies, the early 1980s, the Moonies, Reverend Moon from Korea, South Korea. I think it was South Korea. And he became very popular. His organization. Yeah, it's the Unification Church, but they're known globally as the Moonies. And they'll walk around kind of glazy-eyed. And they'll walk around and some of them might try to sell flowers and, you know, and they lived on relied on donations. And the people would go out all day. The people who I met, it was early, it could have been 1981, 82, maybe 81, over 40 years ago. I remember it. Yeah, I met some people. I used to work in the village area, and I love to walk around. I love the West Village or Greenwich Village. I love the area. I always felt safe there. I didn't feel judged there. And I walked in a store. It was a glass menagerie store. They made glass shapes, animals and things like that. The little gold, little glass trinkets, beautifully done. It was a man and woman, white couple, and they invited me to a dinner in their home. I mean, in their residence. It was a large white stone building somewhere around 42nd Street, as I remember it. It could have been around Fifth Avenue. I forget, but it was this big white building. And the Moonies owned that building. They owned it. Yeah, they owned property, the Moonies, the Unification Church. And I remember it was it was a salad they gave, salad, and it was a lot of tables, bench tables, a lot of relatively young people. And it just kind of looked I was a teenager. There was a movie, not a movie, a film that they showed, la-di-da, and God is good, just general talk and peace and love. And then I went home. And yeah, they had it also after that, hey, we have a weekend retreat. I said, okay, I'll ask my family. So I was invited to go to this retreat, this church. And I told them, it was my mother and father. Well, they yelled, what? They yelled at me so loud. I was very embarrassed. I didn't know. Because they said they're the Unification Church. Yeah, the Unification Church is the Moonies. And I remember my brother, and I was embarrassed. He was saying, oh, those are the people with the flowers, and you could do this and that to them and just look at you glassy-eyed. Wow, I was very embarrassed. Yeah, they were fine. I said, I just want to go to a retreat, just a weekend retreat. Yeah, a lot of these weekend retreats, yeah, you get brainwashed, and you don't come back home. And I already had some difficulties at home. And yeah, a candidate to be a cult member. But in hindsight, I once I would have known their true name, I would have probably left. I mean, I was, you know, I mean, I didn't want to be controlled by anyone, but the word church, the church. I was an atheist at that time. Still, yeah, I was an atheist, and but even though I called myself an atheist back then, I still was searching. I wanted some spirituality, so I wanted something good in my life. Um, yeah, they tell you a lot of things that sound good, but you know, I was observing also. But I'm glad I did not go to the retreat because sometimes you don't have any say and you can't get home. So I'm very grateful that I did not go. But why I mentioned them, that even back then, these were like modern day slaves. I'm sure they're being told, oh, you got to collect this or that. They're outside all day. It's not free. Those people, those buildings that they own, well, who's paying for it? You are. Free labor, and you're out on the street all day, all day. But somehow the leaders and stuff they don't have to go out there and hustle like that, like the other people. But yeah, but what could happen in these organizations? People get fed up. People want to go into these organizations, these institutions, because they're searching like I was searching. They want something better in life. They want community. They want love. They want happiness. They want family. And yet they go in, they love bomb you, love bombing. When you go there, they treat you so nicely and hugs and I love you. And then it dries up. But you're trained that any new person, you do the same thing. And that's how it keeps on perpetuating. Love bombing. And then the enslavement. Your life is not your own. You can't just leave, right? You can't just leave. And who knows the other exploitation that happened, even with the group called the Moonies. I didn't know I was going to talk about these people also. But they're all connected. It's an institution, man-made, and they rely on the sensitivities of people for exploitation. And so where's this all leading to? Where is this all leading to, people? That's the answer. Like my doggie, I knew that it was escalating. My dog's lack of vibrancy, and he stopped eating. He started to, not eat. He was weak. He couldn't walk well. It's just a matter of time. And then the reset, I'm thinking. Reset for him. Heaven. The reset. He's on his new journey. Yeah. I'm looking at society, these institutions also. They, people are hurting everywhere. The intensities of everything. For me, it seemed to start in 2016 with the election in America. The name calling, the people backbiting each other. Oh, it's like, it's just getting out of hand. And then the pandemic, as I call it, happened, and that took a toll. That pandemic was of the enemy. It put such extreme anxiety on me, a lot of anxiety. It was an evil. And everywhere you look, you go on social media, anything, it's just a lot of negativity. Yeah, these politicians, and globally, all over the world. You have people in Africa waking up saying they had enough. They were being controlled by foreigners. And these foreigners were fat rats, making money off of them, making all the essential rules over their subjects. And they're saying enough is enough. Yeah. People are saying enough is enough. Everywhere you look, social media, it's just getting ridiculous. I mean, I had I stopped watching certain videos. Some of my favorite YouTubers, I said I had enough of them. Just what they were talking about. What they're talking about. All these scandals. Yeah, I watched with Kirk. Man, I was hooked on everything I was watching was on Kirk. I never even heard of him before his unaliving. And this person, that person, investigating. You have a lot of people investigating everybody. And it seems like no one is why is no one really something happened. And it's like just drop it, just drop it. People are imploding on themselves. Organizations are turning against themselves. That man that was unalived was going to do an audit. There's a lot of fishy things happening. Yeah. I think these institutions, godly institutions, or organizations that's designed for opening up understanding and reaching for spirituality, and they get hijacked by people who are unclean in spirit, that are taking these monies, or these monks, these temples that are taking money, doing drugs to go. You do those drugs to cope. If things were happy, they wouldn't be doing these things. They're drinking also. Yeah, they're not supposed to do drugs and drinking or smoking in these, you're a monk. They're burning out. And even here, it's a beautiful place, Rwanda. But it's like, wow, why are people doing what they're doing? People globally are saying, I had enough. And I think I've heard someone talk about this going to be a reset. I would tend to agree. Yes, hello, Vera. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Yes, I perceive that, things are reaching its peak of tension, and then it's going to snap. People are saying enough is enough. And for me, I'm very sensitive. I've always been sensitive child, sensitive adult. And for me, I just had to get out of that environment where I was living in New York City. I'm glad I did leave. I'm glad I did. But like everything, there's a cost for you to do anything in life. But don't feel guilty if you know for yourself, for you, that you did, you chose what you thought was best for you at the time, then so be it. We don't know about tomorrow. We never really truly know how things are going to end up. You use wisdom and knowledge and truth to guide yourself. So for me, okay, life happened. My little fur baby passed away about 6 days ago. But there is a new journey for us. And that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do believe that there's going to be a reset. Someone else was talking about that. A reset. And my watching the OBEs, out of body experiencers, yeah, he's picking up momentum. His name is Darius J. Wright. And he talks about his, he teaches OBEs, out of body experiences. Some might call it astral projection. And he says you get to see on the other side your true self. He says your true self is love. And I think that's why I'm doing this video, because life is hard for many of us. And many of us are losing loved ones. Many of us are losing loved ones. And we're trying to make sense out of everything. And he reiterates that our bodies are just, it's like a car. And there's a passenger in the car that's driving it. But the passenger is not the car, and the car is not the passenger. And that's what they're trying to tell us. And that our true self, our real self, is spirit, our soul. And that's what he's trying to convey, that we have a soul. I mean, I've been to church. I used to go to church. I was into church. I was into the Bible. And I remember my church, my pastor said, we're spirit beings having a human experience. And it sounded good, but I didn't know what it meant. That pastor of mine was he was an initiate. Yeah, he was an initiate. And when I think about it, well, yeah, you have people of all types, in these secret organizations behind the scenes or come out from that. They're still in it. And they're talking code and things like that. What do you really mean we are spirit? Like people say, "Oh, I'm spiritual. Are you spiritual, right?" What does that really mean? I have to decide for myself, what does that mean? I mean, we all want to feel that we're spiritual or live a spiritual path. I mean, I want to live a spiritual path, but I have to define for myself, what would that entail? Because what do I mean when I say that? Well, I'm in my 60s now, and I've been in different parts of the world. So different types of people, had tons of different types of jobs. And it's like a rat race. And you get up, get dressed, go to your job. And it's like a cycle that just, where does this end? What is the meaning of all this? And you have people who are just in a state and they're tired. They're looking for a reset because, it's logical. There's only so much that you can endure, that this planet can endure. and then it's going to implode on itself. And I think that's what's happening to these institutions, governments, religions, families. They are in a state. I perceive, yeah, a reset is in order. And I hope for myself to continue the race if I, that see that if this world isn't really real, but the other side, they're saying the other side of this reality is what's eternal. They said our souls, our human souls, are eternal, but we act like you even have little children here in this beautiful country, young people walking up to people who they think have and beg for money. Give me money, give me money, give me. They said the same way. And it's like, wow, children to be put at that. Could you imagine a child feeling what they're feeling? You're 3 years old, 4 years old, and being taught to ask for money. It's sad. People are desperate. That's what I'm getting at. People are desperate. People want relief. But they were saying, like money, money's not real. It's not real, but we act like it's real. There are people fighting for fancy shoes, fancy cars, because that's the reality and their status, that they want a status. Yeah, poor people with fancy shoes. Go back in America. There are people living in what they call the ghetto. But they have a Mercedes and they're living in the what they call the projects. Or people walking around with these I heard that some sneakers cost like $1,000. Wow. For them, they feel like it's a need. It's a need. They want to be qualified. And they're looking for things external from themselves to feel qualified. Or let's say a college degree. Yeah, I thought my getting my master's degree, that it would qualify me for respect, for value. And then when you don't get it, you feel like crap. Nothing internal, nothing external, excuse me, nothing outside of yourself qualifies you. Nothing outside of yourself. And it's going to get to a point people are going to be waking up because the church is being exposed. The temples are being exposed. Your police station is being exposed. All these institutions that you might have looked up to or had an expectation about them that they're supposed to protect you, serve you, and they fell through. Let's say you have family members. Let's say you have family members and they disappoint you. Let's say they mistreat you. They call you names. Even the family institution is dissolving. And you may feel inside that you want to feel qualified. You want to feel that you are somebody. And it comes to no avail. Hey, this person is saying, that this external world, this existence, is not even real in the sense that it's not our true home. That's what he's saying. He says, we all, male, female, young and old, all nationalities. They said when we go to sleep, we sleep, we dream and we go on the other side, the spirit realm. They said that we naturally have OBEs, out of body experiences, that we leave our body, our soul leaves our body, they say. And it has a journey. And he was saying that you could consciously, not just in your sleep or your dreams, but you could, your soul could exit the body through a certain practice of meditation and see the other side and see where our home really is. That's what he's saying. He says, this is not real. He says our real state is the other side. And he claimed to visit these different realms, that the Akashic records and these other places, and that you could meet family members who were deceased, all these things. I took a class 10 years, next month will make it 10 years. Yep. The end of next month in January 2026. I took a class in, they call, astral projection or, OBE. I didn't fully come out, but, and I got scared. But back then, I was in the beginning of my spiritual journey. I had stopped going to church. Yeah, my last day in church was the last Sunday in 2013. The last Sunday, 2013, was the last day in church. 2014, I was following this YouTuber who's on her spiritual journey. And then I had a paradigm shift. And in 2015, I officially started exploring different things, to ask questions. And I started buying books feverishly. Yeah, I was never into books. I gathered a library of books. I have about 280 books. About 280 books. About 250 books, actual hard copies, and then have about no more than 40 e-books. I was on a journey. I had all these questions. And they say the answer is within us. See, I had stopped reading a lot of these books because I felt that the books are telling me what to believe, but I wanted my own experience. I didn't want something, because it'd be like religion again. Because something you read and someone told you, so you believe it. So I wanted my own truth. I wanted to find it. I wanted proof. Yeah, since my doggy's passing, I'm thinking about re-exploring this OBE technique. Yeah, I have the book right next to me, how to do it. I mean, I have the general idea how to do it. Yeah, it was a very, very intense class. It was for several weekends, this class. It was back in America. I I am thinking I need to address this. I need to I need to find my own truth. Yeah, I was extremely afraid. See, but 2015, 2016, I was still um I was still a Christian, I think, in 2016. I was very afraid though, because Christianity is about punishment. You better do this or else. Oh, you don't die in your sin, right? All these fear-based stuff. I was an extremely fearful person, extremely. And so I was also afraid to venture forth in things outside of my initial training, my religious training. Yeah, I started experimenting. Like I was bought crystals, incense. I started meditating. And when you do these things, the meditation, and you have a spiritual experience, no one can take that away from you. Your mind is powerful. And I see my growing up, they didn't want us, especially women, to be empowered, to empower yourself. They wanted you to always feel your lack. I always felt lack, lack, lack. And everybody else was better, better, better. And this, I had to go outside of myself to get filled. Well, when someone close to you passes away, you feel empty. And you have to fill yourself. I'm not trying to sound callous, because ultimately you are responsible for your actions and your feelings and what you do with those feelings. I cannot rely on others to love me, to take care of me. I have to start valuing myself, to feel value. Other people are not there to make you feel value. Would it be nice? Yes, it would be nice. It would be nice to be felt valued by others. But we have to value ourselves, and we have to always remind ourselves and pamper ourselves and talk kindly to yourself, to encourage yourself. You are your own responsibility. You have to nurture yourself. And part of that nurturing process, maybe you have to find your truth. What is truth? Is your religion failing you? Your religion says, love thy neighbor and all that. Yes. But are they loving you back? That's what I'm getting at. Everybody's telling you what to do, but what are they doing? And what do you need to do for yourself? Why are we being connected to these institutions that are failing us? They are failing us. And I feel that it can't go on much long. And I think, yes, it's going to be a reset. A reset. And people's eyes are opening and saying, I had enough. I think there's going to be a reset all over the world. As countries are being dismantled, I felt America was being dismantled. I love my country. Yes, I'm from America. I love my country, but it's going down, in my opinion. And I'm very sad about that. But I felt I had to leave to save myself. I still have family there. And I tell them, hey, get out. Get out while you still can. Yeah, I'm tired of these institutions, and I'm cautious even with this new person who was showing he says he's not looking to be a guru, but something you get a new teacher and you feel like you want to worship them. I'm being real. You start to look up at them and value them. Yeah, just say thank you, but yeah, I don't want to get into that word, that I'm cautious. That's all. But I do feel that, hey, there are other realities outside of this one. Yeah, there's, I started meditating, I think it what's that, 2015. 20, I think April of 2015, I think I started meditating for the first time. And yes, you can see things. Your brain is a receptor. And some people have practiced different techniques to have these spiritual experiences without the use of any chemical. You are a receptor. And the other realms out there, the other beings out there. And my hope was, when I was listening to him recently, this talk, this YouTuber, is there a way to see your loved ones? Can I see my dog that passed away? On the other side, I would like to see my loved one, my little fur babies, and make sure that they're okay. And I think that's in part why I want to try, this OBE thing. I'm a little afraid because, see, when you do things, there are risks, it's like going outside and you go in a neighborhood that you're not familiar with, and, things could happen. You can have an experience and you need to be careful. But yeah, I wanna see where I truly come from. I don't feel like I fit here in this on this planet. I don't feel that I really connect. I don't really connect with my family. I don't really connect to my so-called peers when I was in school. I always felt like an outlier. I always felt different. I do things alone. Always did. Once I graduated from high school, everything changed. I did things on my own. And I actually like that. I mean, I start to feel, oh, maybe, it would be better, a better circle of people. But, sometimes you got to go through life alone. It's great when you might meet that special person, sure. But a lot of things in life, you have to do it alone. And if you find somebody that you can share with to assist you along the way, fantastic. I need to go on this other part of my journey. And yeah, I have some anxieties about it. It's like graduating to another level. There's something more out there, and you don't want to get caught up in he said, she said. I don't want to be, it's bothering me. I disconnected from several YouTubers, and they have the option on YouTube to press, like you press a button, there's three little dots you can press, like if you don't want to receive videos from that particular channel. And I've been going through them. Some of them, they're just sending out, these things that's just designed to make you stressed out. I said, I don't need this. I've been Xing them out. I had channels I used to watch religiously. And I said, I have to wean myself away from this. Yep, and I press that button. Do not recommend any more videos from them. I did not unsubscribe. I just, don't recommend any more videos for me. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. I've been feeling this way for some months now. It's just getting too intense. And when I realize the reset, there's going to be a reset, I believe. Yes, I tend to agree with that other person. A reset that's saying, enough is enough. And this quest for, you have people who are just about money, 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 money. That Charlie Kirk organization, Turning Point, they had a lot of money. And yet people siphoning money, people, what do you call it, like contractors. And they would just create institutions so that they could allegedly funnel the money to their accounts. Yeah, even the Christian organizations are losing sight. It's not about the money. They're working for the money. They're not working for the cause. And it's going to collapse. These institutions, these governments are going to collapse, in my opinion. It's not being wishful, but it's what I see. It can't sustain itself. It's imploding. And I just want to, in my spirit, I need to tap on to what is eternal. They said our soul is what's eternal. Our soul is what is pure. And you have religion that teaches you that you are not pure and you have original sin. Now, what a mind game to put on people. A mind game to control people, that something outside of themselves is going to qualify them and make them a good person. No one can make you good. Good is within. And doing good things is a choice, right? Yeah. Let's stop being fooled by these external worlds. I want to create a beautiful world within myself of spirituality, loving yourself, and and love your neighbor. Yeah, yeah. How to love, like he did this YouTuber talks about that is, if God is unconditional love, then why is there punishment? And he has a right. I mean, he has a point. If God is love is unconditional, why is there judgment? Very good point. Very good point. How do we go beyond this? These institutions or families that we're seeking and seeking this love and affection. We have to learn how to love ourselves and accept ourselves. And that's what I want to do. I want to learn to really, love the selves and learn how to love and forgive others. That would be a miracle. How to love people unconditionally. That is a miracle. And I hope to achieve that. That stop being angry all the time. Stop being sad all the time because someone disappointed you. Life is about disappointment. It's going to happen. How to overcome those emotions. I wish to find a balance for me so it doesn't tear me up inside, especially when you're in the grieving process. You lose a pet, you lose a family member, how to stay centered and to grow and to withstand all this. Yeah, I think it's going to be a reset. And may I be ready for when that time comes. That is what I really want for myself. And as I mentioned in earlier conversations, since my fur baby's passing, what is to be the next stage of my life? I have the freedom now to go about and to really discover myself, go to other locations, and yeah, yeah. Oh, I want to go through this next exploration to find out who I am, where I come from. Yep. And I think part of that is a scary process, to be honest. It's spooky. It is spooky to really find out who you are, like The Matrix, the movie The Matrix with Neo. What did Neo do? Remember they said that at some point in one's life, to expose someone to who they really are or their reality, their true reality, you can't take it. So we gotta be gentle with ourselves, because yes, um, it could be mind blowing. I mean, I lived in a world that was very, very 9 to 5, very mechanical, very worldly. And I didn't know anything about spirituality. But I see I believe there is a spirit world. In 2019, on my birthday, 2019, I saw something in the metaphysical. Yeah, I was very upset about something. I was watching a movie that made me very sad. And I had a metaphysical experience. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol, anything like that. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I had a metaphysical experience. It was quite beautiful. So I know there's other things on the other side. And I wasn't even meditating. I was just watching this movie, 2 movies that day. And I had a visitation from an orb, a ray orb. It was ray of light, the size of a marble, was pure, pure white. And I think it was touching my cheek. And then it traveled along my face towards the tip of my nose, just long enough for me to see it, and then it vanished. Yeah, there's other worlds out there, people. There's other realities. And here I'm getting all worked up because of a political party, because someone's running for office, and all these things. That's Is it important? They're not important. But learning about what life is really about, that there's another side, another reality, and this physical world is going to implode on itself, and a reset most likely. I want to, before this reset, I want to find out about this other side of reality, of where we really come from, where our spirit really comes from. I want to experience that. Yeah. Yeah, so you have, as I mentioned earlier in this live stream, these institutions like these Buddhist monks, like these, what was the other thing? These mayors that are being arrested. Enough is enough. These religions that you might have been a part of, enough is enough. You belong to what we call it, a fraternity or sorority, they are going to crumble as well. They're going to crumble. But what will stand is your spirit, your soul, right? Your soul. They say your soul is who you are. And that they say on the other side, when you're having doing these metaphysical practices, that you are surrounded by love. And they're all saying the same thing. All types of people, male, female, black and white. They're all saying the same thing, that there is an infinite love where they originate from. And they said, that is who we are. Fantastic. You're not the clothes you wear. You're not the money you have in the bank. You are love. And I need to say that to myself. Spirit Journey, you are love. My viewers, any of my viewers, you are love. Let's take another day and appreciate who we are, regardless of our race, religion, color, national origin, orientation, whatever. You are love. Wow. What a wonderful message. What a wonderful message. So with that last note, let not the world pull us down. Yes, that reset is going to come, but you're going to be ahead of the game because you can embrace you and the love essence you really are. You are love. Thank you for those words. So peace and love to you all who are watching this live stream. If you like this content, hey, share with a friend or family member. Yes, let us encourage one another. Let us encourage one another. Don't look for monetary gain, but just, enjoy the moment, enjoy the day. If someone blesses you with a gift, say thank you. You are love and you are enough. We are enough. I thank you. I thank you, Creator. And we are part of the creation. We come from the source. We are little gods, and we can create our reality. So thank you again, people. I hope you enjoyed this. Peace and love to you. Have a fantastic day. Okay? Bye-bye.